say the ball goes by, but we don't go to second. But we kind of did that little corner. We got to get back to the place. Ball comes up here and he runs. So we get all right, where's Harry? Where's Linder? So we're going to call like a strike two. Harry blocks it and moves away. You now.
So we always sit down at the table for dinner. An island, TV in the corner. We sit down for dinner. So last night, sitting down, because I always sit at the island. Still on between Connecticut and Duke.
Yeah.
And oh my gosh, we would have missed that last 2 minutes of the game. That was unbelievable.
From the Mount Perrin North Church Sports Complex, the home of the Mount Bethel Christian Academy Eagles. And welcome to another week of Whitefield baseball, another week of region play. It's great to have you with us as the Pack went 2-1 last week. They got a big week, 3 games this week, first starting off here today against Mount Bethel. With Kevin Brogan, Jack Hunter here with you on the Whitefield Sports Network. Kevin, good last week swinging the bat. The team scored 43 runs across 3 games and looking to keep things going here today.
Yeah, and it's a beautiful day here. It's like 71 degrees, 300 down the right down the right field fence and left field fence, 350. But beautiful day, 70 degrees, sunny, warm, no breeze. Mount Bethel in white, we're in gold. Great day for baseball.
Slightly overcast, although doesn't appear to be any rain chance here. Harrison Brantley stepping to the plate to begin this game, facing off against Hayes Stevens, really quality pitcher for Mount Bethel. We'll see their best today. First pitch to him is a strike, and we are underway here at 4:02.
Harrison Brantley starting out for us. They're in the white pinstripe. We're in the solid gold.
Mount Bethel coming off of an emotional loss on Saturday, 0-1, misses high. They were down by 5 runs going into the last inning against Mount Vernon, came back, tied the game, and ended up losing in 9 innings to the Mustangs. So some positives and some heartaches to take from that game into today. The 1-1, spinner misses high.
So 2 balls, 1 strike, no outs. Coach came over and told us we're a quality pitcher here. Good fastball, good slider, and a good hitter. I think he's their leadoff hitter. So it's a great game for us, and good to see everybody out.
Harrison hitting .415 on the year. And he hits a line drive, scorched into center field for a base hit. A loud single for Harrison Brantley leads off this game.
You know, Harrison got to DH last week for the first time, got to run the bases, stole a base, I think. He was excited about that. He's getting a runner for him right now, so he doesn't get to do that this game since he's catching. But beautiful line drive, landed just to the right of second base, a couple bounces into center field, and we've got a runner on first with no outs.
Thomas Dickey, the courtesy runner. We've seen him off and on in that role this year. So as you mentioned, Harrison now back to going to the bench as the courtesy runner. That'll bring up Lofton Brown, today's third baseman. Whitfield's really settling into the lineup that they have right now with Harrison Brantley, Lofton Brown, and Owen McKeeby at the top. Brown, the senior, shows bunt, pulls it back, and takes strike one.
Yeah, their third baseman really came in on the grass over there, expecting that bunt, and he did square around to it, pulled back, but he's still there in the grass. Thomas Dickey taking a big lead at first. We all know he's aggressive on runners, so we'll see how that goes.
Brown takes a fastball in there for strike one. So I talked about that first three in the order. That was something that started in a midweek loss to Walker on March 18th, and here we are about 12 days later. It's led to a lot of offensive success, even though the team only scored one run in that first game they were doing it. Stevens comes home and misses high with the fastball.
So we're at 1 ball, 2 strikes, no outs. We've got a runner at first, taking a big lead. They're still playing in a little bit on third. He moved back a little bit.
A breaking ball outside. Stevens advertised not only as their best pitcher, but as their best infielder as well. So message to the team coming into the game is hit the ball with 2 strikes, make Mount Bethel, whose defense has been shaky at times, make them make some plays. Dickey leading off first. Brown wide stance to the plate. The pitch. Pop fly right side. First baseman Langston right on the foul line, and he makes the catch on the other side in foul territory for the first out.
Yeah, hit it high as could be, and it was floating in and out, and that's a hard catch for that first baseman. But he went back, squared up, got it. We've got 1 out, runner on first. Thomas Dickey on first. 1 out. Whitefield 0, Mount Bethel 0.
Here is Owen McKeeby, who's having a red-hot stretch here, now up to 436 in the batting average category. Hit his first home run a week ago from today at Landmark. The righty stands in, pickoff back to first. Dickey back in there safely.
Yeah, that was a shot that he had, and that was a deep shot down the line at that school. Landmark had a very deep field compared to this one.
Had 3 RBIs in the Wednesday game versus Pisgah, another hit on Thursday versus Galloway. The first pitch, breaking ball. Good layoff by McKeeby, but the pitch catches the corner for strike one.
So we've got a runner at first. 1 ball, 1 strike, 1 out. At Mount Bethel, we're at the top of the first. Whitefield 0, Mount Bethel 0.
And McKeeby takes another strike. He has multi-hit efforts in 8 of his last 10 games. So his batting average has skyrocketed. Was once 370 on February 20th, and here over a month later in the high 400s.
No balls, 2 strikes, runner on first. Can't say it this early, but that umpire is giving the outside corner pretty consistently, or at least he did the last 2 batters. 1 ball, 2 strikes, 1 out. We've got a runner on first. We're at the top of the first inning.
Patel on deck. This field, 300 down the left field line, 300 down the right field line, and 350 to dead center. Kind of a wooden fence at least covering the center field side. The 1-2 misses, skips to the backstop, and Thomas Dickey will take second on the wild pitch.
So we've got 2 balls, 2 strikes, 1 out. Runner at second. We're at the top of the first inning. Whitefield 0, Mount Bethel 0.
Yeah, it looks like a more traditional chain-linked fence on kind of left center field over to the foul pole, right center field over to the foul pole, and then a wooden fence covering kind of the gaps in center field. Now, the outfield grass, very bouncy. That's something that the outfielders were discovering before the game. McKeeby waiting from the righty. Breaking ball popped out of play.
So 2 balls, 2 strikes, 1 out. Thomas Dickey's on second base. And we've got 1 out. We're at the top of the first inning here at we're out Mount Perham. but it is Mount Bethel we're playing at the top of the first inning. Whitefield 0, Mount Bethel 0.
Hey, Stevens got a mid-80s fastball, good slider as well. We'll see if he breaks it out here. The pitch, fastball, swing and a miss. Scott McKeeby up in the zone. 2 outs.
So we've got 2 outs, runner on second. Thomas Dickey's out on second base. We've got 2 outs, top of the first. Whitefield 0, Mount Bethel 0. Connor Patel at bat.
That'll bring up the power-hitting right fielder Connor Patel. Andrew Wade playing left field today, so Patel in right. Patel kind of bounces between left and right field. Stevens takes a step off, walks to the back of the mound. Now ready to go to face the sophomore Connor Patel. He's got 5 home runs on the year, 19 RBIs, which leads the team. Dickey bouncing around at second. The first pitch to him misses high.
Interesting to see a left-handed batter here. They've been giving him the outside corner on right-handed batters. That would be inside to Connor unless this pitcher can go outside on it. We'll see, but we've got a runner at first, a runner at second. 1 ball, no strikes, 2 outs. Top of the first inning, Whitefield 0, Mount Bethel 0.
A long look to second, another one. Stevens going to check back to second, throwing about a 100-mile-an-hour fastball back to second base. Almost fell off the mound while doing so, but Thomas Dickey with a dirty jersey and some dirty pants back
I was about
up.
to say, he is as dirty as he possibly can be, and we're 2 outs into the game.
Back to the plate, the pitch to Patel misses high again. 2 balls and no strikes.
You know what, he's doing his job, doing a great one. He's taking a great big secondary lead. He's got the shortstop's attention, who ran behind him last time. He made it back, no problem, but he's backing up so he can see everything and getting very aggressive on second.
The 2-0. Drops in there, high part of the zone for a strike. Mount Bethel, not a team to overlook. You know, they are, if you look at, on their record, they just got 1 win in region play, 1-9. They're 8-13 overall, but they've played a lot of close contests, taken a lot of teams to the wire. Definitely not a team to overlook. The 2-1. Curveball drops in there for a strike.
Great breaking ball. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs. Runner at second. That thing broke late, but right over the plate.
Got Merchant, Roberts, Manette, and Langston left to right across the infield for the Eagles. The 2-2. Swing and a miss. Climb the ladder with a fastball, and Stevens ends the frame with 2 strikeouts. At the end of 1/2 inning, it's Whitefield nothing, and the Eagles coming up next.
That's hard to take that great breaking ball and follow up by a fastball right after that. You can see how he's tough to hit.
Back at the bottom of the first, the Eagles coming to the plate. Whitefield in the field for the first time and stepping on the mound for the first time this season. A highly anticipated debut for number 26, Case Martin. The junior has missed all this time up to this point due to injury, but he's slowly working back up. And he's facing the Eagles today. His first pitch of his season is in there for strike one. Hayes Stevens, the pitcher, leading off and hitting first for Mount Bethel.
We've got Harrison Brantley behind the plate, Luke Linder at first, Owen McKeeby at second.
The 0-1. Breaking ball, line drive, right side foul. Got bullpens in the field of play on both sides, left field line and right field line. That ball probably trickling up the mound on the visiting side here on the right side.
Landon Ryan's at shortstop, and Lofton Brown is at third base. Andrew Wade is in left field, John Durden in center, and Connor Patel in right.
0-2 count. Stevens widens his stance. Martin comes home. Fly ball high in the air. John Durden has got a beat on it. Moderate depth center field, and he's got it for the first out.
John Durden, great play. He backed up a little and then got squarely underneath it. Just such a talented center fielder, and he got him out for the first out. So no out, one out. We are at the bottom of the first. Whitefield 0, Mount Bethel 0, and their second batter coming to bat.
So Martin gets ahead, 0 balls and 2 strikes to the first batter. Fly it to center. First pitch here to the center fielder, misses high.
Lofton Brown's back over at third base. So is Luke Linder at first. We're playing back depth.
Simon, the center fielder, takes a strike. Now 1 ball and 1 strike.
Great breaking ball.
Got a hard fastball, sharp breaking ball, a lot to be excited for Case. Probably about 30 pitches today as he misses downstairs. Still working up, so we're in kind of the heart of the season, but obviously the goal for him would be to be at full strength come playoff time. And we're less than a month away from that beginning. Foul tip.
Nice pitch. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 1 out, nobody on. We're at the bottom of the first inning. Whitefield 0, Mount Bethel 0.
Mount Bethel with a 1-run loss to Mount Pisgah, 3-run loss to Fellowship, 1-run loss to Wesleyan, 1-run loss to St. Francis. They've been in a lot of games this year. The 2-2, high.
Beautiful day, warm, no wind at all. Mount Bethel in white pinstripe. We're in gold uniforms.
Martin working from the stretch. Here he comes. And a breaking ball, good layoff by Simon, and he'll reach first on a walk.
Just barely missed that one. Nice breaking ball, just a little low. So they've got a runner on first. There's 1 out, runner on first. We're at the bottom of the first inning. Whitefield 0, Mount Bethel 0. Their third batter's coming to the plate, and they've got a runner on first, taking a big lead. Luke Linder holding them on.
Here's Browning Manette at the plate with a runner on first after the walk. Martin slide steps home, misses high with the fastball for ball 1.
We've got Luke Linder at first, Owen McKeeby at second, Landon Ryan at shortstop, and Lofton Brown at third. Harrison Brantley behind the plate.
Martin pauses, now steps down the mound. Foul tip for a strike count, now even 1 ball and 1 strike. Case last year, 3rd on the team in innings pitched, 25 innings pitched through 6 starts. Went 5-0 record-wise with a 2.24 ERA. So definitely a welcomed addition into an already deep pitching staff. And now in an even count to Manette, the 3-hole hitter. 1-1 is a fastball that just misses. No offering at the pitch 2 from Manette. I think it missed a little outside.
Yeah, 2 balls, 1 strike, 1 out, runner at first. We're at the bottom of the first inning. Whitefield 0, Mount Bethel 0.
Martin will check back to first. Simon back in there safely. Whitefield looking to get their bats back up to the plate, as we mentioned, scoring 43 runs in 1 week across 3 games last week. It was a great week offensively. Runner goes, fly ball, foul out of play, and everybody will have to return back to their stations.
2 balls, 2 strikes, 1 out. Runner on first. We're at the bottom of the first inning. Whitefield 0, Mount Bethel 0. John Durden's at center field. Andrew Wade's in left field, and Connor Patel's in right field. Infield's back. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 1 out. Runner at first.
Martin peeks to first, comes set. Moderate lead at first, not going. Swing and a miss at the plate. Case Martin with a strikeout, his first one of the season.
Great fastball. So we've got 2 outs. The runner's on first. He was taking a big lead. He tried to steal earlier, but they fouled it off, so he's back at first. So we've got runner at first, 2 outs. We're here at Mount Bethel. Mount Bethel 0, Whitefield 0, bottom of the first inning.
And to pick back to first as Carter Langston, the first baseman, steps in. Kind of a tall righty. We've seen exclusively righties so far through the first 4 batters. The batter on deck, Lemming, also a righty against Case. Runner goes. Pitch is blooped over second base, and it'll be McKeeby fighting maybe the sun. I'm not sure what. It was kind of an awkward catch, but he does make the catch. Scoreless first inning for Case Martin at the end of 1 inning. No score. Welcome back. Your score, Mount Bethel 0, Whitefield 0, as we go to the top of the second inning. Case Martin throwing a scoreless first inning, and he'll be the first batter here to come to the plate against Hayes Stevens, who gave up a leadoff single to Harrison Brantley in the top of the first inning, but was able to recover nicely, striking out 2 batters. And the first pitch to Martin hits him.
Wow. I'll tell you what I was about to say. It's great to see Case Martin back. He's been back hitting so well, playing designated hitter, doing everything around here, just so active, and now he gets to pitch, and it's just so glad to see that. And a great first inning. And now he gets hit by the first pitch, and he's on first base. So we've got no outs. We're at the top of the second inning. Whitefield 0, Mount Bethel 0, with Luke Linder coming to bat.
Luke Linder, the towering righty, stepping into the box. Case Martin running for himself at first. Mike Shaheen giving us a little tidbit. He's the DH and the pitcher, so no courtesy runner. First pitch breaking ball at the top of the zone for strike 1.
No balls, 1 strike, no outs. We've got a runner on first. We're at the top of the second inning. Whitefield 0, Mount Bethel 0. They're playing us in. Third baseman at least.
The 0-1 in there for a strike. So top of the zone for strike 1, bottom of the zone for strike 2. Luke, 4 hits in his last 3 games, batting average up to 275 on the year. Playing first base today. Has started all but 1 game there at the position this year. Behind in the count, 0 balls and 2 strikes. The pitch outside.
No ball, well, 1 ball, 2 strikes. They set out really deep, almost like he was going to turn and throw it down to first base because Case is taking a big lead and then taking a big secondary lead on top of it. He's got their attention. Here he's setting up again out there.
Now the 1-2. Popped up, out of play into the trees. So something interesting about being here at Mount Bethel today is the first team we've seen this year that's using the 2-bag first base, the safety bag as some calls it. It's going to be mandatory for every school in the GHSA next year. So Mount Bethel getting ahead of it early. We got a kind of a green bag in foul territory that the runners running towards first are supposed to hit, and then obviously the regular first base in fair territory.
Luke Linder would have appreciated that last week when he had a collision because of that.
And the breaking ball misses outside. Now 2 balls and 2 strikes. So it'll be a little bit of an adjustment period and confusion. Interesting to see if it'll come into effect for Whitefield today, as this is the first time that we've seen it this year. Basically, it's only used for going to first base. Anything else, it's kind of obsolete. 2 balls and 2 strikes. The pitch downstairs, and Luke Linder fighting back from a 0 ball and 2 strike count has worked it full. Case Martin still leading off first. Andrew Wade on deck. No score. Top of the second inning.
Good eye for a full count. 3 balls, 2 strikes, no out. Runner on first. Case Martin taking a big lead over on first.
Hey, Stevens set at the belt. The righty comes home. A big swing, a fly ball foul into the trees behind the first base dugout. Linder on it just a little bit behind, though. Some loud swings, as you could probably hear. So if he straightens one out, it might be some trouble for the Eagles. Big deep breath at the plate. Gets in the right-handed batter's box. Stevens towing the rubber here once again in a full count. Trying to retire Linder and get the first out here in the second. The payoff pitch. Swing and a miss. Pulled the string with a breaking ball and gets his 3rd strikeout.
Breaking ball's working for him, and right on the outside, and they're giving him the outside corner for both teams. So we've got 1 out, runner on first. Case Martin's on first. We're at the top of the second inning. Whitefield 0, Mount Bethel 0. Case Martin got hit by the first pitch he got up there, and he's on first base taking a decent lead. And Andrew Wade coming about.
First pitch to Andrew Wade in the right-handed batter's box. Misses downstairs. You talked about in between innings about just how tough it is. The hitter facing Stevens got that high fastball and then got the breaking ball off of it. Seems like it's given some hitters some fits so far.
Yeah, that breaking ball is just a late breaking, kind of comes in high and then it breaks away from the batter and breaks pretty deep low. So it's a hard one to hit.
Pick to first. Case back in there safely running for himself, the pitcher. And it seems like anybody that's diving into bases is going to have some tough laundry to do, or whoever's doing their laundry is going to have a tough assignment. We saw Thomas Dickey, his uniform was a different color when he got up in the first inning. Case going to be pitching like that here. 1-0 misses downstairs. It skips to the plate.
2 balls, no strikes, 1 out. We've got a runner on first. We're at the top of the second inning. Whitefield 0, Mount Bethel 0.
Andrew Wade working his way back into the starting lineup. We've got kind of a 4-man outfield, and obviously only 3 can play out there. And Andrew Wade with a really solid week last week, getting a start in left field. 2-0 pitch. Runner was going. Pop fly into the trees, foul. But had a good game versus Galloway. Had an RBI single when he came in off the bench. And then against Mount Pisgah, ended up coming in and getting a hard hit single that almost took the third baseman out. The 2-1 count. Martin returning back to first after attempting to steal there.
2 balls, 1 strike. Their third baseman still in on us.
And 2-1's on the corner for strike 2. Home plate umpire with a little premature ring him up for strike 2.
Yeah, we got to see his strike 3 looking because he thought it was strike 3. He's doing the lawnmower move. And hope we don't see it again. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 1 out, runner on first.
So now we know what the strike 3 call is. Haven't seen that today. Breaking ball, hard chopper to second. Monette waits on it, flips to short, but it's dropped. Case Martin was kind of veering out of the way to avoid getting hit on a potential double play and then just found his way back to the bag on the air. I think that's going to be an error probably on the shortstop, Roberts, who just kind of dropped the transfer.
It looked for a second that he was going to run over there and try and touch second because he's close to it. He picked it up cleanly, took a couple steps, and then at the last minute underhanded it to the shortstop who had hit his glove and just kind of rolled out. And so we've got runners at second and first with one out.
Winston James is going to run for Case Martin, so we just were told he couldn't have a courtesy runner, but now he does. So interesting to see what it is there. But Winston James, the junior here on second base, there's sometimes some guys on the team ask me to shout out things during the broadcast. Andrew Wade has been steady the last few weeks. He wants me to shout out the Mississippi State Bulldogs, who swept Ole Miss in baseball this weekend in Starkville, Mississippi. So
what a place to see a game.
Yeah, so Andrew, they went to Oxford actually and swept the Rebels in Oxford. So Andrew, if you're watching this back, here's your Starkville shout out.
And the first baseman's in front of him. He's playing on the grass. Andrew's taking a massive lead, and we've got a runner at second.
Landon Ryan swinging on the first pitch and fouls it back to the cage. You got to think that Whitfield's kind of learned the scouting report by now, and that's kind of swing early at good fastballs, with Stevens already with 3 strikeouts, a lot of which setting him up by that breaking ball.
Well, I'll tell you what, Andrew Way was the first one to really wait on that breaking ball and have a hard hit with it. I mean, the only reason that didn't go in the outfield, the second baseman was going over to cover second, or it would have easily gotten out there, but he waited on it and had a nice hard shot. Now he's on first base.
Stevens, a few peeks back to second, pumps a strike in there. So 0 balls and 2 strikes to Landon Ryan, a tough guy to strike out. Only 3 strikeouts on the year. He's hitting .429.
No balls, 2 strikes, 1 out. We've got runners on second and first. We're at the top of the second inning. Whitefield 0, Mount Bethel 0.
The 0-2, outside, fastball from Stevens. Landon and John Durden, who's on deck, have been such a 1-2 punch in the bottom of the lineup that has been a huge reason why Whitefield has been really an elite offensive team for most of the season. Catcher setting up outside, the 1-2, breaking ball high, and Landon's going to kind of duck out of the way of it to even the count.
That's what I was saying about his curveball. The curveball, the reason it's even better, it comes in high, makes you almost think, oh, no, this is not going to be a strike, and then it breaks down dramatically to the outside. That's why it's such a good breaking ball, and you saw it there with Landon.
Now the 2-2, fouled out of play, kind of a rising fastball there. Stevens just talked about has that good breaking ball, but his fastball almost has kind of the visual illusion that it's rising. Obviously, that's not really possible, but a lot of backspin on the baseball, giving that kind of ride effect.
Well, it's got a couple of our batters. He throws that breaking ball that comes in high and then breaks low, and then he throws a high fastball. And that's a hard 1-2 combination.
Now the 2-2. Popped out of play. Hard hit ball, but well into the trees. We're losing a lot of baseballs so far early today.
And the whole right side here behind our dugout, behind first base, is all pine trees, and we're hitting them over them. And we don't see kids running out there to get us. I see a fence over there. So this may be kind of like your Tampa situation of a lot of lost balls today.
Kind of a nice backdrop in the outfield. A lot of trees, not a lot of distractions, and then we just got a lot of trees behind us on the right side here that are swallowing foul balls. Still a 2-2 count at the plate. Stevens going to lift his leg and turn back to second to make sure Winston James is not going anywhere.
So 2 balls, 2 strikes, 1 out. Runners at second and first. Landon Ryan at bat. 0-0 game.
Both runners go. 2-2. Ground ball to third. The third baseman, Merchant, steps on the bag now, throws to first. The ball gets under the glove of Langston. Landon Ryan is going to advance to second. Wade is going to go back to third. So when all is said and done, it was kind of an interesting play. It was a hit and run, basically, because both runners were stealing, and Merchant, the third baseman, ended up kind of running himself to the ball by trying to cover third base. So 1 out made on the play. That's now 2 outs in the inning. And that'll bring up John Durden.
Yeah, interesting play. I mean, he came in. Landon hit it hard. Good, hard shot, but right to the third baseman, and he was coming in, and he was close to the bag. Steps on the bag, tries to double us up by throwing it over to first, throws in the dirt, goes all the way to the fence. So our Landon hustles over, gets to second. So we've got runners on second and third now with 2 outs and John Durden at bat.
So Merchant's throwing error to first will advance Wade to third and advance Ryan to second. Durden wide stance, first pitch, it drills him. And he's smiling, so it looks like he's at least going to be able to walk this one off. But now the bases are loaded. It's the second hit batter for Whitefield today.
Yeah, right on the hand, just a inside fastball, and he tried to pull his bat back towards his body, and there's no room, and the ball just hits him right on the outside of that right hand. Coach is kind of looking at it, shaking at it. John's smiling, so he doesn't want to show it or rub it, just like any baseball players. Now we have bases loaded with Harrison Brantley at bat.
So Harrison Brantley coming into this game today with 18 RBIs, and we mention this quite regularly, but a big reason why is there are guys on base when he comes to the plate, which as a leadoff hitter is not a guaranteed thing. But if you notice, once again, we got the 8 and 9 hitters on base, and we got the 7 hitter on base, as a matter of fact, 2 on third base. So bags juice, no score here, top second. Back to the top, Brantley had a good swing and drilled a single his first time up. Stevens facing him for the second time here. Brantley settling himself in the right-handed batter's box. Awaits the first pitch, and it's a low strike on a fastball. Brantley having a little bit of a friendly conversation with the home plate umpire who he deals with on the other side.
I was going to say the only person that can do that is the catcher from either team. You can kind of say that to an umpire. Anybody else couldn't. He just gave him a little smile, but we'll see.
0-1. Brantley fouls it into the Bethel dugout or just to the left of it, out in front on looked like either a changeup or a breaking ball. So Brantley behind in the count, 0 balls and 2 strikes now, 2 outs in the inning. Stevens with 3 strikeouts, has not conceded a run yet.
So no balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs, bases loaded. Harrison Brantley's at the bat. Whitefield 0, Mount Bethel 0. He's thrown 2 fastballs in a row. Let's see what he does now. He's going to do that patented breaking ball.
Wide stance for Brantley, the 0-2. Breaking ball misses outside. Worth noting just on the Bethel scorekeeping side because of the error that allowed Andrew Wade to reach. All runs scored from here on out will be unearned because that last out would have been the 3rd out if they had made it. But Whitefield trying to make that the case. Put some runs on the board here. 1-2. Low and outside. Now 2 balls and 2 strikes.
Good eye for Harrison. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs. Bases loaded. Andrew Wade's on third. Landon Ryan's at second. John Durden's at first. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs. We're at the top of the second, 0-0 game.
Brantley fighting back. The 2-2. Fouled off at the plate. Brantley stays alive.
Nice play. It was an outside fastball, and the umpire's been consistent, but they've been giving him that. Harrison reached out, got a piece of it to foul it off to stay alive. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs. Top of the second. Whitefield 0, Mount Bethel 0.
Whitefield did not strike out in their game on Thursday, only struck out 1 time in their game on Wednesday. Been putting the ball in play as of late. Now 2-2 count at the plate once again. Fly ball, right field. Coming in is right fielder Lemming. He looks like he's under it, and he is.
Yeah.
And he'll make the catch for out number 3. So Whitefield loads the bases but leaves them there. And we'll go to the bottom of the second inning. No score. Bottom of the second, no score here from Eagles Field, home of the Mount Bethel Eagles. We're here on the campus, of the nice campus of the Mount Perrin North Church. Kind of drive in here and feel like you're at some like nice compound.
Yeah.
A lot of stuff going on here. Big gym. There obviously is that church here, and then we got some fields up here. A nice field. Apparently got a little bit of a facelift this off season, and it's a pretty nice field, especially for one that's not, you know, an on-campus field that the school owns. So good work by Mount Bethel and then the Mount Perrin North Church to get this good playing facility. Bottom second, Case Martin back out onto the mound through 15 pitches in the first inning. And his first pitch is a breaking ball low to Trip Lemming.
We've got Harrison Brantley behind the plate, Luke Linders at first, Owen McKeeby at second, Landon Ryan, shortstop, and Lofton Brown at third.
Hard hit ball left center field. It's going to split the gap, and it is going to get over the fence, one hop over the wall. So a long ground rule double to the deepest part of the yard. Trip Lemming got a breaking ball, looked like, and just crushed it. And it'll be a leadoff double here in the second inning for the Eagles.
Yeah, it was a great shot right between our center fielder and our left fielder. Bounced one time straight over the fence, right over the Mount Bethel sign there. And they've got a runner at second. Wind's starting to blow a little bit now, and it's blowing from home field, from the home plate all the way to out center field. So one runner on, no outs. We're at the bottom of the second.
Jack Javornak at the plate, the left fielder. He takes ball one just a smidge high. Whitefield, especially Owen McKeeby, at least on the first pitch, playing like they might be expecting a bunt here from the left fielder. First lefty coming to the plate, 1-0. Missed his high, 2 balls and no strikes. Lemming on second after the leadoff double. Martin did not concede a hit in the first inning. Did walk the second batter, but retired the side with no runs allowed.
2 balls, 1 strike, no outs. They've got a runner on second. We're at the bottom of the second inning. Whitefield 0, Mount Bethel 0, but they've got a runner on second with no outs.
Whitefield hoping to get about 30 pitches out of Case Martin today. Hopefully it's maybe into the third inning. We'll see how this inning goes. And he misses low. Now 3 balls and no strikes.
Is this the first left-handed batter that Case is?
Yep. They started off with five righties.
3 balls, no strikes, no outs.
Kind of a quiet stance. And Martin, trying to get back in the count, pumps a strike in there.
Nice pitch. So 3 balls, 1 strike, no outs. Runner at second. We're at Mount Bethel. 0-0 still the score.
Landon Ryan holding Lemming on at second with the lefty at the plate. McKeeby staying put. 3-1. Outside, and Martin loses him. That's his second walk of his outing.
So we've got no outs. Runner at first and second. We're at the bottom of the second inning. Whitefield 0, Mount Bethel 0. We had bases loaded last inning. Had a runner on the first inning, but haven't scored anything. Whitefield 0, Mount Bethel 0, but Mount Bethel's got 2 runners on with no outs.
Walsh, the catcher, showing bunt, and he pops it up over the brick press box behind home plate. You got to figure this is a bunt situation, especially with the 2 runners on and nobody out, but you do have your catcher at the plate. And Martin, definitely a tough guy to bunt off of with the velocity and the stuff he has. Showing bunt again, and they're going to say he did not pull back, so that'll be strike 2. So now decision time on the Eagles side of the field with a 2-strike count. Do they still try to bunt here with 2 strikes, or do they just trust Walsh to try to get him over with the bat?
Well, we've backed our infield up, so we've got Lofton Brown back, and same with Luke Linder. Owen McKeeby's at second. Landon Ryan's holding the runner at second base. He's playing shortstop.
The 0-2 on the way. Hard chopper on the other side of third, caught by the third base coach. Foul ball. First of 2 games against Mount Bethel this week. We'll see him today, and then we'll see him at Truist Park, home of the Braves, on Saturday for what is going to be a fun little game that team got to do last year, playing at Truist Park, getting a chance to do it again this year. A pretty special opportunity, but we'll have the Eagles again there in a non-region matchup. Still 0-2. The pitch. Line drive, right field. This is going to dump in front of Patel for a base hit. Lemming is going to stop at third as the ball comes in. Luke Linder cuts it off. Everybody station to station. Bases loaded, nobody out.
That was a breaking ball that hung up on him, and they turned on it. Hits a line drive, but thank goodness Connor Patel is so fast. He gets in front of it. One bounce, picks it up. He had the momentum coming forward to make the throw to home, and they held their runner at third. So they've got bases loaded, no outs. And they have a substitute runner or courtesy runner at first. So no outs, bases loaded. We're out Mount Bethel. We're at the bottom of the second inning, 0-0 score.
The whoever's doing the scoreboard here got a little giddy and has Mount Bethel up 1-0. We'll see if Whitefield can permanently take that number off the board or if he was just foreshadowing something. Ben Horn, number 6, the courtesy runner at first base. All bags occupied by Eagles. Aiden Merchant, the third baseman, coming in trying to put a crooked number up this inning.
We've got our infields in. Lofton Brown and Luke Linder are both in on the grass.
First pitch, breaking ball, and Brantley smothers it at the plate. So middle infield playing double play depth up the middle. Linder and Lofton Brown in on the grass. Outfield playing at regular depth here with Merchant, the 8-hole hitter, at the plate for the first time today.
1 ball, no strikes, no outs. Bases loaded, bottom of the second.
Ground ball through the left side and into left field, a base hit. 1 run is going to score. Everybody else standing put, going 90 feet. So an RBI single from Aiden Merchant. It is now 1-0 Mount Bethel, and still the bases loaded with nobody out.
He turned on that, had a hard hit right between our shortstop and third baseman. Goes out. Andrew Wade did a nice job of picking it up quickly, coming in. Fires at home. They held their runner, so they just scored 1, and it's 1-0. Mount Bethel's leading at the bottom of the second inning, but they've got bases loaded with no outs.
Here's Greer Haswell, the designated hitter in the 9-hole. He's hitting for the shortstop Holton Roberts as the pitcher Hayes Stevens is hitting for himself. First pitch in there for a strike. So we have got Javornak on third, and we've got Horn on second, the courtesy runner, and then Merchant at first base.
Our infield's playing in again. Luke Linder's on the grass. Lofton's right off the grass, but not by much, maybe a foot or two.
The 0-1. Skips to the plate, gets past Brantley. He can't find it, but a very small backstop here. Going to be tough for a lot of runners to try to make that dash home.
Yeah, it's not far. So 1 ball, 1 strike, no outs, bases loaded. We're at the bottom of the second. Mount Bethel's got the bases loaded with no outs, and they've scored 1. Mount Bethel 1, Whitefield 0.
Martin pumps another strike in there. Now 1 ball, 2 strikes. So strikeout obviously in this situation would be huge, especially considering that the top of the order is coming up next, but just also trying to get out of this situation with as few runs as possible. The pitch.
Oh,
just missing off the plate.
Great pitch. 2 balls, 2 strikes, no outs, bases loaded. Our infield's in. They've just scored 1 and still have bases loaded.
Martin shakes a sign. Now has one he likes from Brantley. Kind of small leads all around for Mount Bethel. The pitch. Swing and a miss. Strike 3. Case Martin gets that strikeout. It's the first out here in the second.
So we're at the bottom of the second inning. Mount Bethel scored 1 run, but they've got bases loaded now. Top of their order with 1 out. Harrison Brantley's behind the plate. Luke Linder's at first. Owen McKeeby at second. Landon Ryan playing shortstop. Lofton Brown playing third.
Stevens, the leadoff hitter, also the pitcher at the plate for the second time. First pitch to him. Breaking ball, a beauty right on the outside corner for strike 1.
No balls, 1 strike, 1 out. Bottom of the second. We're at Mount Bethel. They're in the white pinstripe. We're in gold.
Martin's got the sign he likes. Another strikeout would be huge here to get that second out. 0-1. Chopper, foul left side. into the third base coaching box. And so he's got Stevens where he wants him. 0 balls and 2 strikes. A lot of options here. Harrison Brantley is going to go talk to Case, trying to get on the same page here.
So no balls, 2 strikes, 1 out. We're at the bottom of the second inning. Bases are loaded for Mount Bethel. They've just scored 1 run, and they've got bases loaded with 1 out at the top of their order.
Case Martin delivering to Hayes Stevens. Wide stance. The 0-2 popped out of play, a high fastball.
Nice pitch. So no balls, 2 strikes, 1 out. Our infield's in, not all the way to the grass, but they're close. If they get something, they're bringing it home first.
Martin's going to step off. Stevens just trying to put the ball in play. Brantley going out to talk to Case again. I don't think you're technically allowed to do that, but oh well. GHSA trying to enhance the pace of play, trying to limit the catcher mound visits to 1 an inning.
No balls, 2 strikes, 1 out, bases loaded.
And here it is,
Nice
swing
pitch.
and a miss. Out in front of a breaking ball. And there's the 2 strikeouts that Case Martin needed. Now 2 outs, and Simon will come to the plate with those 2 outs and the bag still loaded.
Great breaking ball outside. They've been calling that outside pitch. Great pitch by Case to get the 2nd out. 2 outs, bases loaded, bottom of the 2nd. Mount Bethel 1, Whitefield 0.
Simon, the center fielder, walked his first time. Martin trying to attack him here. Misses with a breaking ball. Good backhanded stab by Harrison Brantley.
They're starting to extend their leads now. They weren't pushing it too much on the last time, but now they've got 2 outs. Their third baseman's taking a big lead and then taking an even bigger secondary lead. Lofton's not holding them on, but he's hustling back after that. But notice he's pretty far down the line.
And Martin kind of lets loose on a breaking ball that slips out of his hand. It misses way high. 2 balls and no strikes. Simon, as I mentioned, walked his first time up. No place to put him here with all the bags occupied.
2 balls, no strikes, 2 outs.
3 hits in the inning for Mount Bethel, the 2-0. Line drive, is this 4? Yes, it dumps into center field for a base hit. Only 1 run is going to score as Linder goes to cut it off in front of the mound. An RBI single from Simon, and it is 2-0. Eagles on top.
Just a line drive shot right over second base. John Durden came in, caught it cleanly on the first bounce. He was ready to fire it home. He didn't. He saved a run because he picked it up so cleanly. But they've still got bases loaded with 2 outs. They're leading now 2-0 at the bottom of the 2nd.
And that's going to be it for Case Martin today. His first appearance of the year. He gets through an inning and 2/3, 3 strikeouts, responsible for still some runners on first base. It'll be Jackson Wallace to answer the call. And we'll tell you more about the senior righty on the other side of this break. 2-0, Eagles on top. Jackson Wallace, the first call to the bullpen today for Mike Shaheen, and a good spot here for Jackson. Tough spot, bases loaded, 2-man out, 2 runs across in the inning for Mount Bethel, the senior righty, facing off against Monette. First pitch, fastball, and as Jackson Wallace does, he fires it in there for a strike.
Harrison Brantley's behind the plate. Luke Linders at first. Owen McKeeby at second. Landon Ryan playing shortstop. Lofton Brown at third. Andrew Wade out in left field.
0-1, fouled back. 2 pitches, 2 strikes for Jackson Wallace. 1 pitch away from getting out of this jam. Wallace, the lowest on the team by a long shot in terms of pitches per inning. Only averages about 12 pitches per inning. He's a guy that works early, throws strikes, and gets outs, and he's done that all year. We'll see if he can do it again. The 0-2 skips to the plate. Good stop by Brantley.
They're going to try and take home if we get a pass ball. That was a great stop by Harrison. It went in the dirt. He got his glove out there, stopped it, and they've got bases loaded, 2 outs. 1 ball, 2 strikes, 2 outs.
Wallace throwing about 72% strikes. 1-2 off the end of the bat near the Whitefield on deck circle. We'll do it again.
John Durden's at center field, and right field is Connor Patel. So 1 ball, 2 strikes, 2 outs. We're at the bottom of the second inning. Mount Bethel 2, Whitefield 0. And they've got bases loaded right now with 2 outs. Our infield is now back with 2 outs. They've got runners on, bases loaded. The guy on third's taking a huge lead.
4 base hits in the inning, 2 runs. The pitch, outside, even count.
2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs. Bottom of the second. They've got 2 runs, Whitefield 0.
Wallace set of the belt. Righty comes home. Line drive. McKeeby's got it at second. Flips to Landon Ryan for the 3rd out. So Wallace comes in, puts out the fire, but Whitefield finds themselves down 2 as we go to the 3rd. Welcome back. Mount Bethel and Whitefield locked in a tight region contest. We go to the top of the 3rd inning. The road Wolfpack will come to the plate here 2, 3, and 4 in the order. Lofton Brown, Owen McKeeby, and Connor Patel. Both teams leaving the bases loaded in the 2nd inning, but the difference was is that Mount Bethel was able to get 2 home before straining the other 3 runners. So they take a 2-0 lead through 2 innings of play. And Hayes Stevens, the leadoff hitter, the pitcher for Mount Bethel, back on the mound. Righty-righty matchup, first pitch. Breaking ball loops in there for a strike.
And if I didn't know Lofton Brown played basketball, I'd know it now. There was a pitch that got wild, and he blocked out Coach Sheehan to get the ball and throw it back in before he came up to the bat.
0-1. Soaring high. Even count. Now 1 ball and 1 strike to the senior third baseman. Popped out on a high pop-up in foul territory in the first base side, and his last at-bat in the first inning. The 1-1. Breaking ball, waits on it and crushes it to right field, but this one is going to be into foul territory.
1 ball, 2 strikes, no outs. We're at the top of the third inning. Mount Bethel 2, Whitefield 0.
Brown hitting a nice .520 on the year. That's 13 for 25. As we mentioned, him and Landon Ryan together have just been a tantalizing duo on the left side of the infield. And Brown will take a ball outside there. And in fact, they had over 20 hits between the two of them that were just singles until Lofton Brown hit a home run last week against Mount Pisgah.
Yeah, you surprised me when you said that because he towering home run, but 500 average over and then all singles.
Swing and a miss. Brown climbing the ladder. 4th strikeout of the day for Stevens. That's his first one here in the third.
So we've got 1 out, nobody on. Owen McKeeby coming to bat. We're at the top of the third inning. Mount Bethel 2, Whitefield 0.
Owen McKeeby now stepping in. He was 1 strikeout victim his first time. First pitch swinging, foul tipped into the catcher Walsh's mitt for strike 1. Whitefield, as we mentioned, striking out 4 times early here in the game. They have not tested Mount Bethel's defense thoroughly here early in the game. 0-1. Drops in there for a strike.
Mount Bethel's got a good pitcher. He's got a fastball. He's got a great breaking ball. Throws them high fastballs. He hits the bottom corner, and he's got a great breaking ball, and he mixes them up very well.
McKeeby trying to fight here. And takes high. I mean, a good and a bad thing about the region, the big region that we play in, is we get to see every team once in terms of in-region play, so there's nothing stopping us from seeing every team's best pitcher and seeing none of their depth. And McKeeby foul tipped into the mitt. Strike 3. That's strikeout number 5.
So we've got 2 outs. We're at the top of the third inning. Mount Bethel's leading 2-0 here at Mount Bethel. Warm day, 71-72, no wind. We're in gold. They're in white pinstripe. They're leading 2-0 in the top of the third. Connor Patel at bat.
2 outs on those 2 strikeouts. Patel a little late on the fastball. Good swing on it, though, for strike 1. But other regions will play 2 games or sometimes even 3 game series against the same team during the week. And if you do that, you know you're going to see their best pitcher, but you're also going to see their bullpen, their depth, them at their highs and at their lows, where in this region, it's just you don't know what you're getting on any day. Patel, a high fly ball to center field. Hit it really high, so it's going to stay in the yard. Simon under it, and he'll make the catch for the third out. A quick inning here in the third for Stevens. Sets down Whitefield up 3 up and 3 down. And at the end of 2.5 innings, it's 2-0 Mount Bethel. Bottom of the third, Jackson Wallace out for his first full inning after getting one out on one batter. First pitch, fouled out of play. Carter Langston, the first baseman, to do it, but got pulled in with the bases loaded, got the last out. Case Martin's day and line has done it at inning and 2/3, 4 hits, 2 runs. 0-1, same spot, foul ball, back behind, and it bounces off the concrete for a quick 0 balls and 2 strikes. As we mentioned, Jackson works quickly, throws strikes, and oftentimes gets outs. The 0-2. Line drive up the middle on the ground. McKeeby's got it, and with some time, we'll sling it to first for the first out.
We've got Harrison Brantley behind the plate, Luke Linder over at first, Owen McKeeby at second. Shortstop is Landon Ryan. Third base is Lofton Brown. Andrew Wade's out in left field. John Durden's in center field, and Connor Patel is in right. And I don't know how to describe it. This infield, I guess, is one of the sandiest. You could see it from Owen's pickup. He goes down, gets the ball, brings a little dirt with it. Anybody that slides on this field is extremely dirty. But nice field here at Mount Bethel. We're actually at Mount Perrin Church, and they have a sports complex that we're playing out of here, but it's an away game. They're in their white pinstripes. We're in gold. Beautiful day, overcast, 70, 71 degrees. And Whitefield's down 2-0 in the bottom of the third.
And first pitch outside. That pitch has been kind of steadily caught a ball. It looks good. Fouled out of play. We've had about 3 foul balls hitting very similar trajectories. These Mount Bethel hitters a little late on their fastballs. Trip Lemming now the hitter. First time up, had that leadoff double that split the gap. Started off that 2-run inning. And swing and a miss on a diving fastball.
1 ball, 2 strikes, 1 out. We're at the bottom of the third. Mount Bethel 2, Whitefield 0.
Breaking ball, swing and a miss. Lemming goes fishing for it. 2 up and 2 down here in the bottom of the third.
Yeah, inside pitch. He swings at it. Harrison just drops it, and he runs down to first. We were hoping to see that second base come in play, make it easier on the catcher to throw it down to first, but he stayed right on the line, went right down the white bag, but we got him out. So we've got 2 outs. Bottom of the third, nobody on.
First pitch hits Javoronok, and he is going to reach first. That was a quick trip to the plate, stepped in the batter's box, got hit, and then we'll take first base there with 2 outs.
Yeah, inside pitch. He didn't move, hit him right on the arm, and they've got a runner at first with 2 outs. So we're at the bottom of the third inning. Mount Bethel's got 2. We've got 0. They've got a runner on first with 2 outs. Harrison Brantley behind the plate. Luke Linder at first. Lofton Brown at third. Landon Ryan at shortstop, and Owen McKeeby at second.
Swing and a miss.
Yeah, they've consistently giving a little lower outside fastballs or lower outside part of the plate. He's given it to both teams. A little higher outside. He doesn't seem to be, but he's been consistent.
And a fastball just misses outside there.
1 ball, 1 strike, 2 outs, runner at first.
Wallace in his first full inning will pick back to first there.
We're in gold. Andrew Wade's in left field. Connor Patel is in right field, and John Durden's playing center.
Runner goes, popped up on the infield. Lofton Brown camping under it, and he's got it for out number 3. So Jackson Wallace, a quick inning here in the third. No runs for Mount Bethel. They still take their 2-0 lead, and we go down to the fourth. All right, now going to the 4th inning. Still 2-0 Mount Bethel on top. It'll be Case Martin out of the game pitching, but still at the plate here as the designated hitter. Luke Linder and Andrew Wade will follow.
We're at the top of the 4th inning. We're at Mount Bethel. Mount Bethel's got 2. We've got 0. We've left bases loaded on the 2nd inning, a couple runners in the 1st. No outs, top of the 4th.
First pitch, swing and a miss.
Tell you, he's got a nice breaking ball there, so no balls, 1 strike, no outs, nobody on. Top of the 4th inning.
0-1, late on a fastball, fly ball, foul.
No balls, 2 strikes, no outs. Top of the 4th. Whitefield 0, Mount Bethel 2. Case Martin at bat. They're infield. Their 3rd baseman's in. Their 1st baseman's not.
And he just takes a ball off the outside corner. We got Stevens still on the mound. He's struck out 5 batters, has not given up a run through 3 innings of work. Whitefield had a torrid hot week last week with the bats. As a great take by Case Martin. So looking to get the bats going here in a new week. 3 games this week, 2 against Mount Bethel and 1 against Kings Ridge.
2 balls, 2 strikes, no outs, nobody on. Top of the 4th inning. Case Martin's our first batter. We're down 2-0.
Fouled out of play.
Nice. It was a high fastball, but it was in the zone. He had to kind of protect the plate. He choked up, kind of swung, fouled it off. Stays alive. 2 balls, 2 strikes, no outs. Top of the 4th inning. Whitefield 0, Mount Bethel 2. 300 down the line, 350 in the center. Pretty field, good day, 70 degrees and warm.
Martin goes fishing and chases the ball off the plate for strike 3. Now 6 strikeouts for Stevens.
So they've got 1 out, nobody's on. We're at the top of the 4th inning. Luke Linder coming to bat. Whitefield 0, Mount Bethel 2. Good pitcher, great fastball, great couple breaking balls. He's pitching a nice game, keeping us at bay, even though we loaded the plate or loaded the bases in the 2nd inning.
And Linder will take a strike.
Outside fastball, no balls, 1 strike, 1 out. Nobody on, top of the 4th. Luke Linder at bat.
And Linder pops it up, out of play.
So no balls, 2 strikes, 1 out. Nobody on. We're at the top of the 4th. Well, Bethel's in the white pinstripes. We're in the gold uniforms.
And Stevens going to step off. He's going to want some more signs. Linder struck out, swinging his first time at the plate. Worked back from a nice 3-0 count, but couldn't finish the deal. And he chops one to third. Merchant
Be a hard one.
didn't know how to play it, and Luke Linder is going to get on first here with 1 out.
Yeah, that was an interesting one. He hit it. It bounced really high. The third baseman comes running in like he's going to catch it as it comes down from a high trajectory, but then slows down, lets it bounce, and tries to catch it on the short bounce, and it goes past him into left field. Hard ball to gauge, and he gauged instead of going in a little further, and it got by him. So Luke Linder's at first base with 1 out.
So Andrew Wade comes up with a runner on first. A new life now here for Whitefield. Dugout starting to get loud. First pitch, breaking ball, ground ball. Gets through into left field for a base hit. The shortstop Roberts was shading towards second, and Wade hit it enough into the hole. Now Whitefield's got 2 runners on base with 1 out, and a guy you want at the plate here for sure, Landon Ryan, who puts the ball in play. Ended up reaching on the fielder's choice last time. He's going to come up with 2 guys on base.
I was about to say, Andrew Wade was really the only one on our team that really got a hold of a breaking ball. And he did it again. Hard shot right to the left of the shortstop. Goes into the outfield. We've got runners at first and second with 1 out. And Landon Ryan's at bat.
Ryan worked along at bat after getting 2 strikes on him last time. First pitch, fouled it back. Did kind of a similar thing in his last at bat. Landon and Lofton, two guys holding down the left side of the infield. Like to kind of talk about them together because they've had kind of parallel seasons. Landon hitting .430 on the year. That's 15 for 35. 9 RBIs. Scored 13 times. He's gotten hit 5 times as well. Just seems to find his way and really good at bats every time he comes to the plate.
That was an interesting exchange. Landon hit it really hard, but it was fouled. Hit off the fence. Goes to our coach. Our coach, instead of throwing it back to the first baseman, he says to the umpire, he goes, "You need to look at this ball." He must have put a mark on it pretty good, throws it back into the catcher so the umpire could evaluate it, and they gave him a different ball to pitch with.
Look back to second. And Ryan fouls that one away. Down 0 balls and 2 strikes. Tough guy to strike out, as we mentioned. Only 3 strikeouts on the year. Steven's starting to get up there a little bit from a pitch count perspective. He's now thrown 71 pitches. He's had a great outing so far, but you got to wonder when Whitefield will be able to chase him out of the game.
Yeah, no balls, 2 strikes. We got runners at first and second with 1 out. We're at the top of the 4th inning.
The 0-2 off the outer edge. Good take by Landon. They've often gone there with 2 strikes. Mount Bethel has, and Whitefield's been able to leave it. Down 2-0. Whitefield still looking for their first runs of the game and trying to tie the contest here. The 1-2. Line drive into right field, a base hit.
We're going to send him.
Linder's going to come around, and he will score as the ball gets all the way through to the catcher, Walsh. A great piece of hitting by Landon. Ryan reaches out with 2 strikes and sends a hot shot into right. An RBI single makes it 2-1.
This is a line drive, probably 3 feet off the ground. Goes all the way out in right field. Probably bounced for the first time 10 feet past the grass. Goes all the way out in right field. Luke was hauling. Didn't slow down. He comes in sliding. He's safe at home. And Andrew Wade's at second base. Great shot. Great clutch hit by Landon. We're on the board. Mount Bethel 2, Whitefield 1. We've got 1 out and runners at second and first. John Durden's at bat.
Landon had 4 RBIs a week ago against Landmark, has his first RBI here. John Durden looking to tie the game. He takes ball 1 down and in. So Landon Ryan, another RBI here off of a great piece of hitting. RBI single. We've got Wade at second, and now Landon at first base. Wade with a really good piece of hitting himself to put a ball into left field to set up the next at bat. 1-0. Hard ground ball to third. Merchant knocks it down, and he will win the foot race to the third base bag. So Andrew Wade retired there on the fielder's choice. Ryan up to second, and then Durden will go to first.
That was actually a really good play by the third baseman. It was a hot shot right to the third baseman. It hits his glove. It drops to the ground. He picks it up and runs over to third base and steps on it before Andrew Wade gets there for that first out. A lot of times you're going to lose your composure, realize that it's a force play, but he got him out. We've got 2 outs, runners at second and first with Harrison Brantley at bat.
A redemption opportunity for Brantley. Takes high, came up to the plate. If you remember, with the bases loaded in the second inning, worked a pretty solid at bat, saw a lot of pitches, but then just got under the ball, flew out to right to end the second inning. He's up here again with 2 runners on and 2 outs, looking to tie the game. Brantley definitely maybe the guy you want up in this situation. Been a leader at the top of the lineup all year. 1 for 2 on the day. Had that hard shot single in the first. Pick back to second. Landon Ryan will dive back in there safely as a dust storm that Landon Ryan creates.
He was taking a massive lead, and it was close. It was a close play, and they've been watching him for a little bit. It's interesting. Landon goes all the way out to the grass when he's taking this lead so he can keep his eye on everything, and then he starts leaking back in. But he's taking a massive lead. His shortstop's watching him, and we've got runners at second and first. 1 ball, no strikes, 2 outs. We're at the top of the 4th. Mount Bethel 2, Whitefield 1.
Got great speed on the bases. Put one in the gap, and Whitefield might have the lead. The pitch. Swing, or a little check swing offering. And I think it was a called strike anyway, but Brantley did go around on it.
So we've got runners at second and first. There's 2 outs.
Merchant at third playing level with the bag. Everybody else pretty straight up. Brantley slices it foul into the trees behind the dugout. And now faced with a two-strike battle again.
Looks like 1 ball, 2 strikes, 2 outs. We've got runners on second and first. Durden it's at first. Landon Ryan's at second. Harrison Brantley's at the plate. We get 2 outs, top of the 4th inning.
Stevens has his sign. Ryan goes, pitches outside, and he'll go into third standing. He had a great jump. Durden doesn't follow behind, so now runners on the corners.
So 2 outs, 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs. We've got runners on the corner. We're at the top of the 4th inning. Mount Bethel 2, Whitefield 1. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs. Landon Ryan just stole third, standing up. John Durden is on first. They just called a play, obviously thinking that we're going to do the first, third steal kind of combination. But Harrison Brantley's at bat with 2 balls, 2 strikes, and 2 outs.
Harrison eyeing up the pitcher, Stevens. This could be his last inning of work. We'll see. Getting close to 80 pitches. The 2-2 outside, and now a full count. So Durden will be running on the pitch. So any ball that is hit anywhere for an outfielder's got to move a little bit. He could score 2 runs. Brantley in a pivotal moment of this game. Mount Bethel 2, Whitefield 1. Top of the 4th inning. The dugout's starting to get loud for this.
3 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs.
The pitch, swing and a miss. Stevens got him with a breaking ball and decides he wants to stare down Harrison Brantley as he walks to the dugout. All right, anyway, gets the strikeout. We'll go to the bottom of the 4th now, and it's still Mount Bethel 2, Whitefield 1. All right, back here in the bottom of the 4th inning. Whitefield getting a run in the top of the 4th to make it 2-1. First pitch, Merchant swinging and fouls it away.
So no balls, 1 strike, no outs. We're at the bottom of the 4th. Whitefield 1, Mount Bethel 2.
The 0-1. Fastball framed well by Brantley on the corner. Strike 2. Wallace came in the 2nd inning. Faced 1 batter, got 1 out, and then faced 4 batters last inning. Still no runs allowed, and he spikes this one. Got some room to work with here. 0 balls and 2 strikes.
We've got a Harrison Brantley behind the plate. Luke Linders at first. Owen McKeeby's at second. Landon Ryan at shortstop, and Lofton Brown playing third base.
Now the 1-2. Look out, Kevin. That ball screaming right towards you. That fence is keeping us alive here.
It was. Hard shot. So 1 ball, 2 strikes. no outs, nobody on. We're at the bottom of the fourth. Whitfield's down 2-1.
Now another 1-2. Early on it, and he hits it foul into the coach's box. So good to know we still have our reflexes.
Yeah.
It's kind of a free physical right there.
Andrew Wade's out in left field. John Durden's playing center. And Connor Patel is in right field.
And we'll do it again. And Wallace misses low.
2 balls, 2 strikes, no outs. Bottom of the fourth. Mount Bethel 1, or Mount Bethel 2, Whitfield 1.
And Wallace from the windup induces a pop-up right side. Linder's got room, and in the first base coaching box, he's got it. A great play for the first out.
Yeah, Luke Linder, great play over there. He had to avoid first the ump, who was right on the line. He had to get around him, and then the ball was drifting back and forth with the sun in his eyes, and their coach, their first base coach, was right by it, and he didn't really know where to go, so he just stood still. Luke was right by him when he caught it for the first out.
First pitch, fly ball to right center field off the bat of Haswell. Connor Patel fighting the sun, and with the shades on, has it for the second out. As we mentioned, Jackson Wallace averaging just 12 pitches an inning, and he's living up to that right now, just getting some quick outs. Already 2 out.
So 2 outs. We're at the bottom of the fourth inning. Mount Bethel 2, Whitfield 1.
Browning Monette is in the bullpen, something to keep an eye on. First pitch, I guess that missed somewhere for ball 1.
1 ball, no strikes, 2 outs. We're at the bottom of the fourth inning. They're at the top of the lineup with their pitcher.
Stevens 0 for 2, flew out to center in the first, struck out in the second. First time facing Wallace, and a ground ball to short. Ryan up with it quick, throws to first. A quick 1-2-3 inning for Jackson Wallace, and it has Whitfield buzzing as they go into the dugout. Time to go now to the bottom, or time to go now to the 5th inning. Whitfield down 2-1. All right, let's go to the 5th inning. Hard to believe we're already in the 5th inning, just kind of an hour into this game. This game has been moving. Whitfield hoping to take some time this inning to put some runs on the board. Down 2-1 as we go to the top of the 5th. Jackson Wallace has done a nice job now, 2 1/3 innings in relief. He's giving Whitfield a chance to get back into this game, and for the second time in this game, Lofton Brown is going to lead off an inning. We'll see what Whitfield can do here as they try to at least get the starter out of the game. You got to figure that Hayes Stevens, who's done a great job today, he's got to be out soon. He's got 81 pitches. Brown, a righty batter, steps in. The first pitch he sees is a fastball, and he pops it out of play.
So no balls, 1 strike, no outs. We're at the top of the 5th inning. Whitfield 1, Mount Bethel 2. Lofton Brown at bat.
McKeeby on deck. Brown over 2. The 0-1 pitch misses outside.
Good eye. They're in the white pinstripe. We're in the gold uniforms. We're at Mount Bethel's home field. 300 down the lines, 350 in center. Not too much of a win.
Breaking ball crushed into center field for a base hit in front of the center fielder, Simon. Lofton Brown with a loud single to start us off in the 5th.
And you know what? That's just experience. That was a breaking ball that was coming down outside, but they've been giving that to him every time. And he reached out, had a great hit on it, or great shot to center field, bounced once. He actually made a very aggressive turn at first. If they hadn't picked it up very cleanly, he was ready to go to second. But he's on first base, no outs, top of the 5th inning.
And that will bring Owen McKeeby to the plate. McKeeby's due. He is 0 for 2 with 2 strikeouts. He's at least last at bat was late on a first pitch fastball. We'll see what he gets here. He gets a fastball, and he's not late on this. A ground ball into left field for a base hit. Brown up to second base, 2 runners on here with nobody out.
Great fastball, but Owen turned on it and had a line drive shot, bounced once in the dirt right between the third baseman and the shortstop, goes all the way out to the left fielder, and we've got runners on first and second with no outs.
All right, and this looks like it might be it for Hayes Stevens. He's pitched a great game today, has conceded 1 unearned run. We'll see if this is the getting pulled conversation or if this is a mutual conversation, and seeing if Stevens still has something left in the tank. We saw the current second baseman, Browning Monette, warming up in the bullpen when Bethel was at the plate in the bottom of the 4th, and no, this is not going to be it. So he is going to stay on the mound. I'm sure the leash is going to be pretty tight here given the circumstances with 2 runners on and given his high pitch count in the 80s.
Yeah, I remember when we were watching a Braves game and they asked the coach what he said to the pitcher, and he said to the pitcher, "You've got 1 out," meaning if you don't get the next guy out, you're coming out. It looks like it's something tight like that. We've got runners at first and second, no outs. We're at the top of the 5th inning.
Here's Connor Patel, has hit many a big homer this year. We'll see if he's got some dynamite in the bat here. Shows bunt.
Great bunt.
Plays
Third
some small
baseman
ball.
came in
How
on
about
it
that
too.
instead? The throw to first is in time. And good bunt defense by Mount Bethel. The second baseman, Monette, covering the bag there. So task accomplished. Now runners at second and third after the great sack bunt from Patel, and really doing his job when you consider that late in the game. Now the tying run is on third base, and the go-ahead run is on second base in McKeeby.
That was a smart play by their pitcher. Their third baseman actually came in by accident, and he tried to turn around and run back to third to get the lead out for him. The pitcher saw that and turned around, threw it to first to get at least 1 out. Now we've got runners second and third, 1 out.
Infield is in. Case Martin takes a breaking ball. Now he's pretty low, but called a strike. The whole infield is in from left to right. It's got to be kind of a scary thought with Case Martin at the plate with his ability to crush the ball.
I would say so. Everybody's on their grass, and with Case Martin at bat. No balls, 1 strike, 1 out. Runners at second and third.
Time called at the plate. Martin was hit in the second inning, struck out in the 4th inning. Remember, was the starting pitcher in this game. The 0-1 pitch misses low.
Great eye by Case. 1 ball, 1 strike, 1 out. We've got runners at second and third. We're at the top of the 5th inning. Whitefield 1, Mount Bethel 2.
Good speed on the bases. A fly ball to the outfield will most certainly, if the depth is good enough, get Brown home from third. Now the 1-1. High. You can walk Martin. The first base is open, but then you got to deal with Luke Linder, which is also a kind of a scary thought with the bases loaded.
And these guys in like this. I haven't seen a team bring everybody in like this. Usually it's first and third, but they've got shortstop and second base. Not on the grass, but a foot on the grass.
The 2-1 pitch. Breaking ball. Martin thought about it, but leaves it down. Now decisions for Hayes Stevens. Do you attack him here and try to get this out? Or do you put Martin on, and it'll probably not be him then, that would face Luke Linder, who is on deck. Stevens trying to put a finishing stamp on what has been a great outing for him here today.
3 balls, 1 strike, 1 out.
The pitch, swing and a miss, blew a fastball by him, and now we've got a full count. So we've seen Stevens throw now 91 pitches, 58 of them have been for strikes, no walks and 7 strikeouts, no earned runs allowed through 4 1/3 innings.
We've got runners on 2nd and 3rd, 1 out, top of the 5th. We're down 2-1.
And here it is. Swing and a miss, but it's a drop third strike. The play at the plate, and Brown is tagged out. So Martin is going to get to first base on the drop third strike, but Brown was trying to score there. The backstop not too big behind the plate, and so the catcher, Walsh, did not have too hard of a time getting him. So when all said and done, 2 outs in the inning, runners on the corners.
Yeah, the pitch was low in the dirt, and it was a hard throw, and it bounced back almost to the dirt again. Lofton was coming home. He actually stopped to see if the catcher was going to be able to, was going to dive at him. He didn't. He just stood there, and then he just tagged him for the out. But Case is safe at first. So we've got 2 outs, runners on the corner, top of the 5th inning. Whitefield 1, Mount Bethel 2 with Luke Linder at bat.
So now 8 strikeouts, no walks for Stevens today. Now with 2 outs, this could also be the last batter regardless that Stevens faces. He either gets the 3rd out or something good happens for the Pack and he gets pulled. Would love the latter option here. First pitch to Linder. Hit deep to center field. It turns Simon around. He's in front of the 350 sign, and he's got it as he crashes up against the wall. And he's got it. He holds the ball up. He might be feeling that one for the next few days, but he just made a game-saving catch for Mount Bethel.
Shot to center field. Chance it was going to go out, and he caught it right at the fence to end the inning.
Well, Linder gave it a ride, but just missed on it by about 5 feet, and they allowed out. That probably will be it for Stevens, and that will send us to the bottom of the 5th inning. Still anybody's game. It's 2-1. All right, welcome back. Bottom of the 5th inning. Your score, Mount Bethel 2, Whitefield 1. Whitefield Academy just having a crazy inning in the top of the 5th inning, leaving some more runners on base, and that might be what this game comes down to. They left 8 on so far. Jackson Wallace, 2 1/3 already on the mound, and the first pitch is inside. Simon, who made that catch in center field, is coming up to the plate here. It looks like he's maybe running on adrenaline after running into that wooden fence. 1-0. Hard ground ball into the hole. Ryan stops, makes a strong throw across the diamond, and Linder cannot come up with it.
That was a great play and a good throw. He had but it was going to be tight. Landon had to go all the way to his right, snag the ball, turn, made the great throw, bounced once, but it was a low bounce, hits Luke Linder in the glove, and then drops to the ground. And they've got a runner on first with no outs. We're at the bottom of the 5th inning. Mount Bethel 2, Whitefield 1.
So what a sequence of events for Simon. Now Manette up at the plate. Tries to bunts the first pitch foul, left side.
So no balls, 1 strike, no outs. They've got a runner on first We're at the bottom of the 5th inning. Mount Bethel 2, Whitefield 1.
Mount Bethel 3 errors, and then Whitefield's played a clean game on defense. Wallace has not run into much trouble on the mound except for the trouble that he inherited in the 2nd inning. 0-1, shows bunt again, gets it down. Brown is going to take the out at first base. So accomplished missions for both teams. Simon's going to move to second, and then Monette does his job pushing him there.
Lofton Brown had a nice play. They bunted it somewhere between the third base and the pitcher, and Lofton cleans it, picks it up cleanly. Looked at the runner going to second, but did the smart play, throws it over to first. Landon was covering third base, and they've got a runner at second with 1 out.
Wallace, first pitch swinging. Langston, the batter, the first baseman, 0 for 2, takes a big swing in and miss. Wallace working at a lightning pace. You've got the center fielder Simon, definitely some speed out there on second. A few looks, now the 0-1 in there for a strike.
Nice pitch. Harrison Brantley behind the plate. Luke Linders at first. Owen McKeeby at second. Landon Ryan playing short, and Lofton Brown at third base. John Durden's out in center. Connor Patel's out in right, and Andrew Wade in left.
Ground ball. This one similarly in the hole. Ryan comes up with it to first, and it gets under the glove of Linder. And it will move the runner Simon to third.
Hard hit ball again to Landon's right. He had to go pick it up. They had a fast runner on it. He had to make a long throw, bounced it one time to Luke, but it bounced, had a kind of a funny bounce right beside Luke's glove, goes all the way to the fence. The runner at second advances to third, and they've got a runner at the corner with 1 out.
So there's at least going to be an error to allow the runner to advance. Chopper over the head of Lofton Brown, and they are just dinking and dunking Jackson Wallace here in the 5th inning. Simon will score. Langston up to second base. Lemming with now 2 hits today, and it is Mount Bethel 3 and Whitefield 1.
A very interesting bounce. He hits it. It hits in the grass in the infield and then bounces so high. We couldn't have fielded anyway. Would have gone over shortstop or third base. Bounces for the second time in left field, and they scored a run. They've got runners at first and second with 1 out.
Javornak at the plate. He's swinging here, and he fouls one behind the brick press box behind us for strike 1. Got hit in his last trip to the plate on just 1 pitch. Basically just came up, wore one, and then went to first. Worked a walk in the 2nd inning.
Mount Bethel 3, Whitefield 1.
Ground ball right side this time, and this is through into right field.
They're going to hold the runner.
Patel with an absolute cannon into the plate will hold everyone put, but the base is loaded, and there's really not that much you can do, or like not much you can really say about what's going on right now, because Wallace is making good pitches. And he's getting ground balls, and they're just going where Whitfield's not.
Yeah, that one was not like a rock-solid shot, but what happened was Luke Linder was holding the guy back on first. He was on first base, came off first base, and then it was between him and Owen McKeeby. Not a hard hit ball, but goes all the way out to right field. Now, thank goodness Connor Patel's fast. He runs in, picks it up, and has his motion going forward, throws a strike from right field to hold that runner at third base. So they've got bases loaded, 1 out. They're leading 3-1.
And especially in high school baseball, this is kind of a exhibit A on just how important it is to put the ball in play. You know, this is not we're not playing Major League Baseball where you can strike out 35% of the time and be an all-star. High school baseball, the fields aren't perfect, the fielders aren't perfect, and if you put the ball in play consistently, good things are gonna happen for you, and that's the case here today with Mount Bethel. First pitch high and tight to the catcher, Luke Walsh. I mean, there are 2 plays in that sequence, 2 ground balls to shortstop that if you're Landon or Luke, you're probably going to say you should have made those plays, but they're very tough plays nonetheless. And the fly ball will go foul here, but some Mount Bethel running into some good fortune here. Now they've earned the fortune. They put the ball in play, but they've hit him where Whitfield has not been this inning. They've got 1 run across, bases loaded, 1 out in the inning.
1 ball, 1 strike, 1 out, bases loaded. Our infield's not on the grass, but we're in a little bit. Play will come home if there's anything on the ground. Mount Bethel 3, Whitefield 1. We're at the bottom of the 5th.
Deep breath from Wallace. Comes home. Fouled back. Wallace today just has 1 strikeout. He has gotten a lot of early and a lot of quick, and a lot of weak outs. But he's ran into a little trouble this inning. 1 error and 3 singles.
1 ball, 2 strikes, 1 out.
Ground ball to first. Linder gets his steps on the bag, now comes home with it, and his throw is way wide. 1 run is going to score, and 2 runs are going to score.
Luke Linder made a nice clean place, grabs the ball, steps on first for the first out, fires it home because they were sending the batter, the man on third, who originally held. The throw was inside, more towards third base. Harrison goes over to get it and actually is kind of taken out of his legs as a slide comes in. The ball goes all the way to the fence and they send the second runner, so they score 2. Now it's 5-1, Mount Bethel. We've got 2 outs with the runner on third.
So 5-1, as you mentioned. This is a big development for the Eagles. Strike 1 to Merchant. So 3 unassisted is the out, and then the first run, Langston scoring on that ground ball, and a strike called here. And then the error from Linder will allow another run, Lemming, to score, and now Javornak is at third base. Swing and a miss for strike 3, and that'll do it here in this bottom of the 5th inning. But 3 runs on the board for the Mount Bethel Eagles. We go to the 6th inning now. It's time for Whitefield to respond here after the break. Does Whitefield have some life here as we go to the 6th inning? 5-1 the score after Mount Bethel scored 3 runs in the bottom of the 5th inning. Whitefield finds themselves down by 4 runs. It'll be the bottom of the lineup due up first. Andrew Wade, Landon Ryan, and John Durden facing a new pitcher. Hayes Stevens' day is done. Browning Monette is the new pitcher. He'll move in from second base.
So we're at the top of the 6th inning. Mount Bethel 5, Whitefield 1. We're at Mount Bethel in the top of the 6th inning.
First pitch to Wade. Misses low for ball 1. So defensively, Hayes Stevens, the pitcher, will move to shortstop. That's a big boost for them defensively. And then the shortstop, Holton Roberts, will slide over to second base. 1-0 count to Andrew Wade, the pitch. And this one misses outside.
So 2 balls, no strikes, no outs. We're at the top of the 6th inning. Mount Bethel's leading 5-1. Andrew Wade's at bat. We're here at Mount Bethel, 300 down the line, 350 center field.
Swing and a miss. Wade was swinging big there, and Monette kind of finessed his way by him there. The bottom of the lineup has actually been on base all 6 times. So Wade been on base twice, Ryan on base twice, and Durden on base twice. Some of those fielder's choices, but still. And a hot shot to third. And Merchant says, look what I found, and he's got it for the first out.
You know, we just talked about it last inning. Here, they were hitting us where we are not, and then Andrew Wade hits a rocket, literally right to the glove of the third baseman. I mean, he didn't even move his glove, but actually bobbled it when he hit it so hard it hit in the palm and popped up, and then he caught it for the first out. But what a rocket ship, but that's baseball. Like you said, he hit it right where they were. We've got 1 out, top of the 6th, Landon Ryan at bat.
And Ryan takes ball 1 low. So we've seen consistently that, especially late, that corner, that outside corner to righties has really not been there as a strike. The 1-0. Took a little off. Ryan out in front.
1 ball, 1 strike, 1 out, nobody on. We're at the top of the 6th inning. Mount Bethel 5, Whitefield 1.
Landon had a great at-bat his last time to the plate. With 2 runners on, had an RBI single. He swings through that one. He got to a 2-strike count. Kind of waited on a fastball, sent a hot shot to right field, and ended up scoring Luke Linder.
Well,
that's
1 ball,
Whitefield's only
2
run.
strikes now. 1 out, nobody on.
And Ryan takes it downstairs. Jersey is a different color now after just a day on the bases, sliding back into second, sliding around in the field.
2 balls, 2 strikes, 1 out, nobody on, top of the 6th. Whitfield's down 5-1.
And a ground ball.
Nice.
This one not going to be caught into the left field corner.
Oh, he's hauling.
Ryan, he'll
He's
definitely
going for
get
2.
2 out of the box. And he will take a turn, thinking about 3. Back to second, he's in there. Mount Bethel thinks that he was out. I do not think that was really close. Landon Ryan now 2 hits today. And this one a double, exactly what Whitefield needed to inject some life into the Pax Riley here.
Landon Ryan, I'll tell you, last time he goes to right field with a line drive. This time he goes straight down the line to left field, got past the third baseman, and it goes all the way to the corner. He took a huge turn and was thinking about third. If they hadn't picked it up cleanly, he was watching the third baseman, and the third baseman got over there, and they fired it back to second. He slides in, and he is 100% completely covered in dirt. But he was safe. They're talking about it with the ref and the umpire, but the umpire was right there to call him safe. They're going out there to talk about it, and Landon is still getting some of the dirt off of him. But a great clutch hit right down the line, and we've got a runner at second with 1 out, and John Durden coming to bat.
John Durden got hit kind of the wrist or the hand area in the second inning, and then reached on a fielder's choice ground ball to the third baseman in the 4th inning. Looking for his first hit of the day and looking just to keep Whitfield's rally going with the top of the order on deck. So Monette in his first inning of work after Stevens worked 5 scoreless. First pitch, downstairs for ball 1.
No balls, or 1 ball, no strikes, 1 out, runner at second. I stand corrected. Landon's left shoulder is not dirty. So we've got a runner on second with 1 out. We are down 5-1 in the top of the 6th inning.
And Durden has a base hit here. Ground ball into left field. Ryan is going to get the wave, and he will score without a throw. John Durden's first hit of the day is an RBI single, and the Pack now down 5-2.
Almost the same shot as Landon. He turned on a fastball and roped it right down between the third baseman and third base, bounced a couple times. The difference on this one was Landon's went in the corner where the left fielder over there was able to get in front of this one so that John Durden only stayed at first. So we've got a runner at first, 1 out. We've scored 1. The score is 5-2. Bethel's leading.
First pitch to Brantley. Chopper, left side, foul on the other side of the bag. So the bottom of the lineup between all 3 of them, Wade, Ryan, and Durden, have 4 hits here today. And just looking at my book, all of them have reached in some capacity except for Wade's line drive that almost broke Merchant's hand at third base. So it's just been an active bottom of the order. Brantley, the leadoff hitter, same spot, and just dashes one into left field for a base hit. It was a good job by the left fielder, Javornak, almost like playing an infielder there, tracking that hard hit ball down. And now Whitefield continuing to motor here. Ryan across, Durden into second base off that single, and then Harrison Brantley now 2 hits today.
Great line drive shot, bounced once right into the infield, and right between shortstop and third base, goes all the way out right to the left fielder. He picks it up cleanly. John Durden's at second, and we've got a pitch runner for Harrison at first.
Thomas Dickey back at first base. First pitch low and away. So Stevens 5 scoreless, and then Monette in his first inning has struggled a little bit. Whitefield trying to pounce here. Are you 1 across? Got top of the order, so Brown, the 2-hole hitter at the plate right here. This is exactly the string of hitters you want to come to the plate in a leverage moment like this. Durden hanging off second. The pitch. Hard ground ball to third, and it's kicked into left field. Literally kicked. Durden is going to come around, and he is going to score. The throw is offline. It's up the line. And Lofton Brown, a hard hit ball, and it is now 5-3.
I was about to say John Durden was getting very aggressive lead on second base, and then we just roped a line drive. Lofton hit a great shot, actually hit the third baseman's foot, kind of changed the trajectory. But because Durden had such a big lead, he scored easily. It probably shouldn't have been as close as it was. It was way wide open because Durden had such a great lead. So we got runners at first and second, 1 out. We're at the top of the 6th inning. Whitefield 3, Bethel 5.
So it'll go down as an error, but still just such a productive at-bat for Brown. First pitch to McKeeby, misses outside. So something that kind of the box score won't necessarily tell you there is that Brown really forced the issue and causing the error. Now 5-3, 2-run game. Still just 1 out in the inning. The last 4 guys have reached. McKeeby at the plate. And he goes down to a knee as he swings through strike 1.
Thomas Dickey's taking a big lead over there. He's got their shortstop's attention. He's holding them on. There's a big gap between shortstop and third because of it. McKeeby's got 1 ball, 1 strike, 1 out. We've got runners at second and first, top of the 6th inning. Bethel 5, Whitefield 3.
The pitch. Fouled back. McKeeby's base hit in the 5th inning, it was first of the game, was exactly in that spot where it seems like Whitefield's just putting the ball the entire inning. Just a little bit to the left of where the third baseman's stationed right now, and he's pretty off the bag. And that kind of no man's land area, Whitefield has been putting the baseball out there recently. McKeeby, one of those guys in the 5th. Has been to protect the plate here, and he goes down swinging. 2 outs.
So 2 outs. We're at the top of the 6th. We've got runners on second and first. Thomas Dickey's at second. Lofton Brown's at first. Connor Patel's at bat.
So Patel came to the plate with 2 runners on his last time and laid down a beauty of a sac bunt. Whitefield couldn't get any runs home. Now in the 6th inning, they've got 2 across. Can they tie the game here? Patel blooped right field, and that ball is just foul.
Just outside. He turned on that one, and it just landed. We're right on the line here, probably a foot and a half to the right of the line for foul ball. And what a shot. So no balls, 1 strike, 2 outs. We've got runners at second and first. We are at the top of the 6th inning. Whitefield 3, Mount Bethel 5.
So allowed first strike. Monette, bend at the knees, set at the belt, comes home, and Patel watches it low.
You know, this always impresses me about Connor. I mean, everybody's excited about this, and just a great eye not to go for that pitch. It was a low ball, but it was not too far low, and the good eye that he has, he let it go, and it's 1 ball, 1 strike, 2 outs, runners at second and first. Whitefield 3, Mount Bethel 5.
Patel hitting .357, has had just such an impressive year, but has really picked up his batting average and kind of his non-home run hits recently. A kind of all-around hitter. And he watches one outside.
2 balls, 1 strike, 2 outs. Runners at second and first. Thomas Dickey's taking a big lead. He's got the shortstop's attention. We're at the top of the 6th. Whitefield 3, Mount Bethel 5.
Monette in a big spot here. And called a strike on the outside corner now. 2 strikes to Patel. Dickey on second base. Lofton Brown on first base. Case Martin is on deck. Patel at the plate here. And the tying run is Lofton Brown on first base.
2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs.
And the 2-2 pitch. Popped up, shallow left field. This might be a tough play. Javornak coming in, and he's got it. And that will be it for the Pack Rally in the top of the 6th inning. But they get 2 across as we go to the bottom of the 6th now. A little bit of a tighter contest. It is 5-3. Bottom of the 6th inning we go. Whitefield just got 2 runs across in the top of the 6th inning. Can they hold the deficit where it is now? And it's currently 5-3. New pitcher for the Pack is the senior Sam Kirkian. 9-1-2 in the Bethel order. First pitch high. And this is a big moment for Sam, who the last time that we saw him was last Monday at Landmark. We'll get to that in a second. The 1-0 is just off the plate. That was an outing that he probably liked to forget. That was that game where their leadoff hitter hit 4 homers. They had 5 in total. He ended up giving up 4 earned runs, and 7 runs total in just 1 inning of work, and he's fallen behind 3-0 here. Hit 2 batters, and that gave up 5 hits. Obviously, he's a very talented pitcher, and everybody every once in a while kind of has those outings like that. So we'll see how he's able to bounce back here today. Haswell here leading off.
Nice pitch.
And comes back with a strike.
Harrison Brandley's behind the plate. Luke Linder's at first. Owen McKeeby's at second. Landon Ryan is at shortstop, and Lofton Brown at third.
The 3-1. Fly ball to center field. Durden tracks it and has it for out number 1.
And we've got John Durden at center field, Andrew Wade in left field, and Connor Patel in right field. We are at the bottom of the 6th inning. Mount Bethel 5, Whitefield 3. We're at Mount Bethel. They're in their white pinstripes. We're in our gold uniform. We scored 2 last inning to get it more interesting. It's 5-3. Top of the order now for them. Mount Bethel's leading 5-3. Bottom of the 6th inning.
Hey, Stevens, the pitcher now the shortstop, facing Kirkian for the first time. And a spinner misses outside. So Kirk fell behind, 3 balls and no strikes to the 9-hole hitter. Was able to work back well and induce a fly out to center field. Obviously probably trying to get ahead, especially here at the top of the lineup. So we'll see what he responds with here. And a great breaking ball. He does that. And now count even at 1 ball and 1 strike.
1 ball, 1 strike, 1 out. We're at the bottom of the 6th. Whitefield 3, Mount Bethel 5.
The 1-1. Crushed to center field on a line, but John Durden is right there. Good luck getting it past John Durden. That's 2 outs.
That was a rock-solid line drive, and John Durden had to go over to get it, but a great catch. If John wasn't positioned well and if John Durden wasn't so fast, that probably would have hit the fence for a double. But we've now got 2 outs at the bottom of the 6th. Whitefield 3, Mount Bethel 5.
Speaking of center fielders, here's Patrick Simon, the center fielder for Mount Bethel. He takes ball 1. He was the one that on a just absolute rocket from Luke Linder ended up running into the wooden fence, held onto the ball, and maybe have saved the game for Mount Bethel to this point. And he's late on a fastball, lines it into the trees.
Yeah, after he hit it, he laid there for a second. He made a nice catch and then hit the wall and then laid down for the 3rd out and got up. And if I recall, he was the first batter at the next inning too.
He was, and he singled. A 1-strike pitch outside.
So we've got 2 outs. We're at the bottom of the 6th inning. We're down 5-3 here out Mount Bethel.
Martin Linder and Wade, the 3 batters, due up next inning. Breaking ball is a good pitch, but good layoff there from Simon. Simon reached base all 3 times today, 2 singles, also walked in the 1st inning. 2 outs in the inning, 2 fly balls to center field. And a ground ball back to Kirkian, and he's going to flip to first, and that'll be it. 3 up, 3 down in the inning, just what the doctor ordered for the Pack. 3 outs left to go as we go to the 7th. It is 5-3, Mount Bethel on top. To the top of the 7th we go. It's been a tight game all game long. Mount Bethel pulled to a 5-1 lead going into the 6th inning. Whitefield responded with 2 of their own, and after Sam Kirkian held the Eagles down in the bottom of the 6th inning, we go to the 7th in this 2-run game. We've got 7 hits for Mount Bethel. For Whitefield, we've got 8 hits. The errors 4 for Mount Bethel and 2 for Whitefield. Runners left on, a lot of them from both teams. First pitch to Case Martin misses downstairs, and the 7th inning is underway. 3 outs left to go for Whitefield.
So we're at the top of the 7th. We're down 3-5. Case Martin at bat. 1 ball, no strikes.
And a big swing and a miss. So tough adjustment for Whitefield's hitters to go from Stevens, who was throwing pretty hard, to Monette, who is throwing probably 5 to 10 miles an hour slower. Trying to kind of recalibrate your timing. 1-1. Popped up. This is going to stay in the field of play.
He's going to call that.
And Case Martin ran into, they're going to say interference. Case Martin ran into the pitcher, and that is going to be the first out.
The ball was sky high. Right is actually probably foul. Pitcher comes over to get it. Case is running to first base. I don't know if they ran into him. Actually knocked his glove off his hand. Ball falls to the ground. They call interference for the first out.
All right, 1 out now. Luke Linder at the plate. Linder 0 for 3. Did reach on an error in the 4th inning and scored. And he swings through strike 1. So the infield shaded kind of on the left side. The third baseman, Merchant, is hugging the line. And then the shortstop, Stevens, is kind of playing towards more in the hole. Pretty straight up in the outfield, though. 0 balls and a strike. The pitch. Inside.
1 ball, 1 strike, 1 out. We're at the top of the 7th inning. We're down 5-3. Luke Linder's at bat. 1 ball, 1 strike, 1 out. Nobody on.
Now the 1-1. Hooked, foul. He hit it hard, but was way out in front of it. And now 2 strikes on the junior first baseman.
1 ball, 2 strikes. Just hit a rope, a line drive. It's actually hooking a little bit and stayed inside the fence, but foul ball. So 1 ball, 2 strikes, 1 out. Top of the 7th. Whitefield 3, Mount Bethel 5.
Great to have you with us with Kevin Brogan, Jack Hunter here. Tight region contest. Whitefield 5-3 in region play coming into today. Got another chance on Thursday against Kings Ridge, but would love to extend the region winning streak, or at least make it a streak, to 3. They say 3's a streak. Linder at the plate, 1 ball and 2 strikes. And the offering skips to the plate.
2 balls, 2 strikes, 1 out. Top of the 7th. We're down 5-3. Luke Linder at bat. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 1 out.
Locked in a battle. The 2-2. Fouled away, low and away fastball. That probably could have been strike 3. Linder did a good job of reaching out and protecting the plate.
They've been calling that one all day, so good job to protect the plate. So 2 balls, 2 strikes, 1 out. We're at the top of the 7th. Whitefield 3, Mount Bethel 5.
And now for the 2-2 again.
Oh,
Hit
that's
high
gone.
and deep to right field. This one is trouble back at the wall, and it is caught. Oh, my goodness. Lemming just playing deep right field. And Luke Linder, for the 2nd time today, I mean, he has had some tough luck. He was the one that hit the ball to the fence that the center fielder, Simon, caught in the 5th inning, and here with an unlucky out. Good news that he's hitting the ball hard, but just tough luck for Whitefield here. Now 2 outs. It's up to Andrew Wade.
That was a shot, too. I thought he connected, and that was gone. Came off the bat really hard, but stayed in up against the fence. Their right fielder got it.
And speaking of bad luck, as Wade takes a ball low, Andrew Wade hit a ball so hard that the ball was in Aiden Merchant's glove before it even knew what was going on. 1-0 count. Outside, now 2 balls and no strikes.
2 balls, no strikes, 2 outs. We're at the top of the 7th inning. We need 2 to stay alive. We're down 5-3, 7th inning, 2 balls, no strikes, 2 outs. Nobody's on. Andrew Wade's at bat. We're at Mount Bethel, top of the 7th inning.
Well, he's had a good day. Reached on an error the first time in the second on a hard ground ball, and then singled in the 4th inning, had that line shot rocketed off his bat in the 6th inning. He needs to try to get on and extend the game here with 2 outs. The pitch, low.
Their infield's back. They're just knocking it down because they've got 2 outs and a 2-run lead at the top of the 7th. 3 balls, no strikes, 2 outs.
And the pitch. Called strike.
3 balls, 1 strike, 2 outs. Top of the 7th. Whitfield's down 5-3.
Manette's pitch. Popped up, shallow right field, and it is going to drop. And Whitefield stays alive. Andrew Wade with his 2nd hit of the game.
Yeah, and popped it up right between second base and the right fielder. Right fielder charged the best that he could, but couldn't get there in time, and he bounced it. And we've got a runner on first with 2 outs.
Got a Wade exchange at first. Andrew Wade is going to go to the bench. Robert Wade is going to pinch run for him. Ultimately, obviously, the run matters on first, but the run we're really looking at is at the plate right now, and Landon Ryan in a 2-run deficit. Obviously, if Robert scores, it would be 5-4. But Landon represents the tying run, and he is at the plate. Landon's had a good day. He had a double on a ball that he ripped down the left field line in the 6th inning, and then singled in the 4th inning. Has a stolen base mixed in there as well.
So we've got 2 outs, top of the 7th, runner on first.
And first pitch ground ball to third. Merchant is right there. The throw to first is in time, and Mount Bethel's got it.
Wow, clean shot right to the third baseman. Bounced once right into his glove. He took his time, fired it over to first for the 3rd out to end the game. And that's it. Whitefield 3, Mount Bethel 5.
All right, so Whitefield scores 3 runs on 9 hits, and then Mount Bethel, the victors today, scoring 5 runs on 7 hits. Whitefield ended up leaving a decent chunk of runners on. They ended up leaving 11 runners on base, and they will drop to 5-4 in region play. Big one coming up on Thursday against Kings Ridge. Hope you can join us then. A home game for Whitefield, but for now, that is all for us here up at Mount Bethel. For Kevin Brogan, I'm Jack Hunter saying good night, and the Pack